everyone, my name is Samuel Flynn. I'm the co-founder and chief exec here at HandsIn, and we provide group payment services for online merchants. But what is the problem that we're trying to solve? Well, the payment process for groups purchasing online has been completely broken since the history of time. For consumers, for retailers, and for the PSP aggregators here in the room today. I'm going to walk you through an example of exactly why. I want you to now imagine, between you all, a group of 4 or more of you are going to be booking a summer holiday. In this process, one of you is going to be typically designated the lead booker. So it's this person's job to organize and manage the entire aspect of the group payment. But as we all know with travel, it's not only complex, it's expensive. The average 7-night holiday costs around £947 per person. And for the millennial generation, which is my generation, the average salary exceeds no higher than £2,500 a month. So it makes it incredibly difficult for this generation to upfront these payments at checkout. One, like how they're restricted, but two, like how most of you in this room do today. So they need to rely on an alternative. An alternative you may be thinking is credit cards. But less than 50% of millennials own a credit card. And for those that do, their credit limits are incredibly low. So naturally, what's the next step? The next step for this generation is they like to split payments. But herein lies the problem. None of you guys provide this functionality. Not any of the retailers here at the MPE or any of the PSPs. So what happens next? Well, you both in this instant fail to convert the sale, and now the customer experience becomes completely painful because one person is either forced to upfront this payment at checkout or chase and hassle everyone down for the money that's owed to pay on one card. And we want to make this process sexy, and how we're doing that is through HandsIn. We provide a simple API that enables an online merchant to offer group checkout on their site, with the mission of delivering increases in incremental revenue whilst reducing purchase friction for customers. And how the product works is once it's integrated, as you can see, customers will be able to select HandsIn as a payment option. We will then give them the provision to split the transaction, whether this be equally by item or with custom amounts, and then they can invite group members for a link share, QR code, email or text message, and all join together and pay simultaneously. But the payment part is what makes us clever, because we work on a pre-auth basis just like a hotel. So when each member receives the link, we pre-authorize that amount, and then we capture the payment just like a hotel when you check out, once all the group members join and pay in. And since our Q4 of 2022 launch, we've been off to an absolute fantastic start. We've converted 100% of the payments to date on checkouts above 24 hours. And we've seen an 82% improvement on checkouts below 24 hours. But this is not the only reason why online retailers are loving HandsIn at the moment. As you can see, we're starting to prove that we can drive incremental spending and volume, but we're also quick and easy to go live because we're connected with the merchant's pre-existing gateway and acquiring infrastructure. Also, we enable merchants to cross-sell to new members of a group purchase that our service helps them identify. Now, since the start this year, we've been on an absolute rocket ship. We've closed close to 140,000 in deals in ARR, one with the fourth largest airline in Spain. We've just agreed commercial details with one of the largest OTAs in Africa and in the LGBTQ space. And our qualified pipeline stands at around 1.2 million in ARR. So we are very much on track to do 1 million ARR by the end of this year. Now, how we get there is by providing retailers a choice of 3 different types of business models. The first is a pay-as-you-go plan with a platform access fee. The second, a yearly license model that's based on volume tiers. And the third and final, an end-user paying model, where it's the customer that pays a small service fee on every transaction. But the best part is that we achieve a 70 to 90% gross profit margin across the board with all of these models. So HandsIn is the foundations of being a super profitable venture. Now, we're initially going to be targeting the Gen Z millennial online travel market. And this is because 59% of the purchases are done in groups of at least 3 or more. However, in the short to medium term, we're going to be looking at the ticketing market, where it's 60% in the same scenario, and food and beverage. But what these two slides show is that this is a gargantuan issue spread across multiple industries, but there's not one provider in the space to solve it. We really are the first of our kind, being a retailer aggregator-focused group payment solution. Many of the other payment companies here today focus on the single payment market, and then you have consumer apps like Venmo, Splitwise, and Collective that, again, are just apps. They're not checkout solutions like us. Now, I'm sure you must be thinking in the room, hold on a minute, Sam, cool pitch, but why couldn't a retailer just build this out themselves? Well, that's an obvious question that we've gone and got the answer to. And the feedback was that building on top of complex legacy infrastructure is going to take too much time and cost too much money. Equally, large enterprise merchants are looking for something that can fit across their entire gateway and acquiring infrastructure, and that's exactly what we provide. Now, for the PSPs in the room, you must be thinking, who's this jumped up 23-year-old calling us out saying we need this functionality on our platform, trying to compete with us? That's not the case. I'm trying to collaborate with you guys, and how we do that is by white labeling this functionality inside your platform that's going to enable the merchants on your platform to turn this on by the click of a button in their payment page. And for the partnerships teams in the room, I'm sure you know this process all too well. What that's going to do is add stickiness and grow volume. Stickiness by selling new functionality to your customers, grow volume by increasing conversions on group checkouts. Equally, this might be new functionality can help you acquire net new business. And finally, save you time and money of having to build this solution out yourself. Why even attempt to go and try and build out this solution when you can come into the best in the business that is already hands-in, that works across the SMB and the large enterprise market? And we've currently got 2 contracts in redlining and 8 in commercial discussions with many at the MPE here today. Now, my team, myself, Samuel Flynn, I'm a 2-time founder, and I've already had an exit as director in 2019 when I was just 19 years old. My co-founder and CTO, Raul Patel, is a former software engineer at Intel and MoneyDuct, and my advisory team, which I'm very proud of, includes veterans of the industry like David Parker, the main man, David Birch, who I'm sure is probably here today as well, and maybe you've seen at some of the panel speeches, Mark Uthland, who's the current CTO of the fintech unicorn Ulen, and Paul Van Eltham, who's a leading payment strategy consultant of many OTAs and airlines like Qatar. So thank you guys, and I now look forward to Dragon's questions.